Episode 04 of King Agetus. The Knock Before Dawn. It was very early in the morning, before dawn, around 3 a.m., when a loud knock on the door shattered the stillness of the house. The cold air seeped through the cracks of the windows, carrying the faint scent of damp earth from outside. Gandecia, startled awake by the persistent pounding, wondered who it could be. Was it thieves? Fear gripped her heart like ice, but she quickly dismissed the thought. In their village, Therin, there hadn't been a single robbery in many years. The Vigilante group was strong. One could hardly walk at night without running into volunteers patrolling the streets. Years ago, things had been different. Therin had suffered frequent robberies, despite being a small village of modest, hardworking people. Eventually, the leaders had empowered a strong vigilante force, armed with local weapons, to protect the residents. Since then, nights had been peaceful and days worry-free. Now fully awake, Gandecia wondered again who could be at the door. The thought of their shop being robbed crossed her mind briefly. Perhaps someone had come with bad news. But she brushed it aside, recalling the tight security around the market. Outside, the wind rustled the leaves of the nearby trees. Their whispers blended with the knocking, making the moment feel even more tense. Suddenly, she thought of Leopold. "Oh, maybe it's my brother," she murmured. Jumping out of bed, she shivered as the cold floor touched her feet. "He said he would be back shortly. It must be him," she whispered, walking toward the main door. "Leopold!" she called softly, trying to confirm her guess. The knocking continued. Then a voice replied, not Leopard's, but another familiar one. "Gandecia," it called. She froze. It was Cedric, the chief vigilante of Therin. Surprised, Gandecia wondered why Cedric would come at such an hour. She began unlocking the door, her fingers stiff from the cold, removing the bolts one by one. By now, Clementus had woken up, drawn by the noise, and joined his mother by the door. "Mom, what if they are robbers?" Clementus asked nervously, his voice trembling. "They can't be robbers," Gandecia replied softly. "One of them is Cedric." When she opened the door, Cedric stood there with two other vigilantes beside him. Their faces were hard to make out in the dim light, shadowed by the faint glow of the lantern. "We need to come in," Cedric said quietly. Still confused but obedient, Gandecia stepped aside. The men entered silently. The faint clatter of their boots on the wooden floor echoed in the empty house. Gandecia and Clementus watched them anxiously, hearts pounding. "Our farmers reported something around 11 last night," Cedric began. "They saw a man lying on the road near the mountain path, in a pool of blood. It looked like he had been attacked, but we don't know by who or why." Cedric paused, glancing briefly at his companions before continuing. Gandecia frowned, clearly wondering what the information had to do with her. "I'm sorry, Gandecia," Cedric said at last, his voice low and heavy. "It was Leopold. He's dead." The words struck like thunder. Gandecia froze. Clementus stared at her, wide-eyed and trembling. Then Gandecia let out a piercing cry. "Leopold!" she screamed, collapsing to the floor. Her cries echoed through the house, mingling with the faint whistle of the wind outside, waking Brios and Agetus. "Mama! What's the matter?" Joyous shouted, rushing from his room. Clementus knelt beside his mother, holding her tightly, tears streaming down his face. No one answered. Then, in a low but steady voice, Clementus turned toward Agetus. Your father is dead. Agetus' eye widened in disbelief. He glanced towards the open door and, without a word, bolted outside. Go after him, one of the vigilantes said. Joyous immediately followed. Outside, the night was heavy with fog, and the smell of wet soil filled the air. Joyous tried to catch up with Agetus. Come on, boy. It's dark. I can barely see, he shouted, struggling to keep up. But Agetus didn't stop. He ran until his strength gave out, finally collapsing to his knees. The soft rustle of his clothing and his quiet sobs, the only sounds in the dark. Joyous caught up, breathing hard. You keep running off like this, he said gently, and one day you may end up dead too. Joyous placed a hand on Agetus' shoulder and lifted him to his feet. Together, they walked back towards the house. Agetus' quiet sobs echoing through the darkness, the cold night air biting at their skin as they made their way home. Keep enjoying the episodes of King Agetus at kingagetus.wordpress.com.